What's up? Brian Tong here, and Apple has officially unveiled their entire iPhone 12 lineup, and really all the rumors pretty much delivered what we expected. But the biggest surprise for me was easily the new cameras bringing Dolby Vision HDR video recording for the first time on a phone camera. But also the cameras were confusing AF. Now, Apple, they weren't straightforward about it. Their website was even more messy. I honestly think they did it on purpose. So I decided to organize all the information and give you the cleanest breakdown and really understanding of all these differences between all of the rear cameras in the entire iPhone 12 lineup. I repeat, this is for the rear cameras, so don't get all these crazy comments at me. That's what this video is all about. And yes, there's going to be comparison tables because Apple didn't want you to see it like this. So let's start off with the cameras and photos. Okay, you're probably looking at this chart and saying, good Lord, there is so much on here, but it's actually pretty simple. We're going to break this down and start off with the three cameras on the different phones. First of all, the ultra-wide camera, that's the 5-element lens. This has an f2.4 aperture and 120-degree field of view. That is on every single model in the iPhone 12 lineup. You can see it across the board. We also have the wide camera, the 7-element lens, which you'll be using the most. f1.6 aperture, again, the same across the board for all four models. But then this is where it gets different. We know the iPhone 12 mini and iPhone 12 have dual lens, so they do not have the telephoto camera with the 6-element lens. Of course, the triple lens camera, the iPhone 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max, they have this, but it's slightly different between the two. You get an f2.0 aperture on the 12 Pro and f2.2 aperture on the 12 Pro Max. Then if we're talking optical zoom on the 12 mini and the 12, you get a 2x zoom out. But then we go over to the 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max, you get a 2x zoom in, a 2x zoom out, and then a total 4x zoom range on the 12 Pro. You bump up a little higher with the 12 Pro Max, 2.5 zoom in, 2x zoom out, 5x zoom range. So that's the most impressive out of all these phones, and we've seen this similarly in other phones, like on some of the Samsung phones for optical zoom. Okay, we're gonna go to digital zoom. iPhone 12 mini, iPhone 12, the same at 5x digital zoom. 10x digital zoom on the 12 Pro, 12x digital zoom on the 12 Pro Max. Apple ProRAW, the new format, will not be coming to the 12 mini or the iPhone 12, but we will have it on the 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max coming soon. And what is ProRAW? Well, ProRAW gives you all the standard RAW information along with the Apple image pipeline data. So this gives you more specific control in the editing process with noise reduction, multi-frame exposure adjustments are already in place. So you just have more time to tweak color and white balance. All iPhone 12s also have Deep Fusion, and Deep Fusion is Apple's image processing system introduced with the Neural Engine back with the A13 Bionic. It's here obviously with the A14. Now Deep Fusion uses advanced machine learning to really do pixel by pixel processing of photos. It optimizes them for texture, details, and noise in really every part of the photo. This is basically the brains and tech that makes the photos you take look so good in this split second on an iPhone. And if you look here, the ultra wide and wide lens has Deep Fusion for the 12 mini and iPhone 12. But then if you go up to the 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max, all three lenses have Deep Fusion. All right, we're gonna check out another chart. This again is the differences between the entire iPhone 12 lineup, specifically with their photos. We've got night mode for portraits that are enabled by the LiDAR scanner. We know 12 mini, 12, they don't have the LiDAR scanner, but the 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max do. Portrait mode with the advanced bokeh and depth control, that's where you kind of slide and change the blurriness. That's all across the board. The portrait lighting that gives you kind of those 6 different effects, that's all across the board. But then here with optical image stabilization, you have it only on the wide lens for the 12 mini and iPhone 12, but then the wide and telephoto lens for the 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max have optical image stabilization. Then if you look at the entire lineup here, this new sensor shift optical image stabilization, that's only going to be on the iPhone 12 Pro Max and on its wide camera. So you can see how the 12 Pro Max just has like a few tweaks that make it special compared to the rest of the entire phone lineup. I'm not that happy about it, but it is what it is, Apple. But we also have this list that showcases all the other features that are across the board with all four phone models. It kind of reminds you how impressive it is. You got the panorama, 100% focused pixels, the night mode for the ultra wide and wide lens. You look up and down that, it just reminds you how crazy and great these phones are. Okay, let's jump over to the differences now between all of the iPhone 12 models and then how they handle video. So between the 12 mini, 12, 12 Pro, and 12 Pro Max, optical image stabilization for video on the wide camera, that's all there for four models. If we have optical zoom, similar to what we saw earlier with photos, you get a 2x zoom out for both the 12 mini and 12, and then you have the 2 zoom in, 2x zoom out, 4x zoom range for the 12 Pro, and then again, 2.5 zoom in, 2x zoom out, 5x range for the 12 Pro Max. Digital zoom wise, you get 3x digital zoom for video, specifically with the 12 mini and 12. Then you go up to a 6x digital zoom for the 12 Pro and a 7x digital zoom for video for the 12 Pro Max. Now, the feature that I am the most excited about, this is the first phone camera ever to record in Dolby Vision. So iPhone 12 Pro jumps from 8 to 10-bit HDR recording. This captures 700 million colors for just more lifelike videos. HDR stands for high dynamic range if you're not familiar with the term. And it brings you the colors that just pop off the screen. You get these deep blacks that give you the best visuals that you can find today. And then they go one better, recording in Dolby Vision. This is the format used by film studios for all of your favorite movies. So you can even edit Dolby Vision video on your iOS device and then use AirPlay to stream 4K Dolby Vision content on your big screen TV. Obviously, that A14 processor is a beast that helps make it happen, but we have just never seen a workflow like this in your pocket. And as a video creator, this is damn exciting. This was absolutely worth getting excited for. And we look here, Dolby Vision HDR, video recording at 4K, you get up to 30 frames per second for both the 12 mini and 12, but then you get up to 60 frames per second for the 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max. You'll also have slow-mo video support for 1080p at 120 frames per second or 240 frames per second across the entire lineup as well. Here's a look at all the video features that you're going to be able to get across the board on all 4 models as well. You got 4K video recording at the different frame rates. You get brighter True Tone flash. You get that quick take video where you hold the camera button to quickly take videos. You got time lapse with video stabilization. If you look at those, again, just an impressive list of everything that these cameras can do specifically here for video. So if I look at the entire iPhone 12 lineup, just after breaking down all these camera differences, if you're trying to decide between which model to get based on your budget and what you want, I think the biggest differences from the 12s to the 12 Pros, obviously there's no LiDAR scanner, which won't really make that much of a difference with your day-to-day and still just hasn't been fully leveraged yet. We'll wait and see how it shakes out, but look, I think we're going to really have to use it and see how much of a noticeable difference that night mode portraits look with its help if you're even taking a lot of night mode portraits. There's obviously here no 65mm telephoto camera on the 12s, but the wide and ultra wide cameras are exactly the same compared to the 12 Pros. You also won't be getting the Apple ProRAW format on the 12s either, but that's not a deal breaker for the general consumer, especially with how good these cameras already are. Now, the design we know is aluminum instead of steel, but the design isn't radically different from 12s to the 12 Pros, and you really get more colors on the iPhone 5. Sorry, excuse me. I meant the iPhone 12 and 12 mini. Battery life for video playback on the mini is 15 hours, 17 hours on the 12, 17 hours on the 12 Pro, and 20 hours on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. But this video here, let's get back to why we came here. It's focusing on the cameras, and unless you really need or want the top camera features, I think you're going to be more than happy with what the 12 or the 12 mini delivers. And for someone like me who is a video creator, I have never been a big screen phone type of guy, but oh goodness, the 12 Pro Max, this is just so tempting with just that added optical image stabilization. You get the better optical zoom. So I have a question for Apple. Like, you're telling me you really couldn't put that camera in the 6.1-inch 12 Pro, or you didn't because that would have meant that making the internals would take really more time and really make them different from the standard iPhone 12, therefore increasing your costs? Like, you don't think that we know how you think? I could be wrong. I'm speculating, but I think that had to go behind some of that decision making, because look, at this point, the 12 Pro lineup should have the exact same cameras. I mean, that's how I feel. And you know what's coming? That's a bad Apple. Oh, hell no. And I have never had to think hard about this. Like, why did you have to do this to me, Apple, making me literally debate between the Pro and the Pro Max when I wear skinny jeans? Like, that, the 6.7 inch does not work in my skinny jeans. So look, I have some time to figure it out, and I think I'll most likely go with the 12 Pro, but you never know. Now, the two 6.1-inch models, that's the iPhone 12 and the 12 Pro, they're going to be available for pre-order Friday, October the 16th, and then available on October the 23rd. You get the iPhone 12 Pro Max, the largest phone model, and the iPhone 12 mini. Those are going to be available for pre-order on Friday, November the 6th, and then will be available 1 week later on November the 13th. Okay, so hopefully I was able to kind of make some sense out of all this camera chaos, but now I think you really have a clearer picture of what's going on. Yeah? Yeah? You like that? You know how to do that, right? Okay, please keep watching or come back to my channel. I ask you kindly. All right, that's going to do it for this week's video. If you like what you see, give me that thumbs up, subs up, and hit that notification bell, ding, to get all my videos when they drop. I still have a reactions video coming up from the event, but I just had to do this first as a request from my buddy Ed Boone. Ed, yo, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate is also going to be sick. So if you want to go even deeper with Apple, check out my Apple Bits XL audio podcast where we cover the latest stories and bring on special guests. And all my work is independent. I would absolutely love your support at patreon.com/BrianTong, where you get benefits at different levels, early access to content, and an entirely ad-free version of the podcast and more. Thanks so much for watching. The camera chaos has, I hope finally been resolved. This is kind of the easiest way that I could do it. So take care, everybody. Be safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace and love.